Probably should add myself to the stage first. I didn't think about doing that till the very end. This is Tennessee New York Giants Straight Talk Powered by Big Blue LLC. Coming to you live on the Believe Network as well. Well, not live on the Believe Network. We're also on the Believe Network as well. Just got back from Florham Park not that long ago. We'll be at the Giants' next joint practice tomorrow near MetLife. Long day, and it was a long day for the New York Giants offense. And there was moments for the New York Giants defense where it was just as long as of a day. But you had some highlights. You had some good news. You had some, you have good news mixed in with the bad news. And I don't even think it's bad. I don't think it's bad news because it's training camp. I don't understand how I have to tell people this over and over again. I don't see anything wrong with it being training camp and you pointing things out that people need to work on. Wyatt Armstrong says, hope you have good news. James always says, hit the like button. Salute, Big Tim. Salute to the chat. So, the Giants offense. I don't know. Should we start with the Giants offense or should we start with Jackson Dart? Because there is a if you watch the Jet Packer game, there is a humongous difference between the New York Jets defense and the Buffalo Bills defense, the New York Jets second teamers and the Buffalo Bills second teamers. There's a huge fucking difference. Buffalo had one of the weakest pass rushes last year, which is why they went out and got the likes of Joey Bosa and Ed Oliver and everyone else. So they addressed on improving their pass rush, but they had one of the worst pass rushes last year. Russell Wilson in the beginning and most of the when you got onto the 7-on-7, 11-on-11 drills, you saw the difference between the two teams. You saw the level of difference between the two teams, between the offense and the defense. The Giants offense basically sputtered, rolling over gutters. That's from my hoopty. They sputtered. They didn't really get it together until the last red zone series of the entire session. And I believe we had Russell Wilson had 3 touchdowns. Russell Wilson even came out and said, hey, listen, you know what? It's a learning experience. You got the good, you got the bad, but the Giants offense for the majority of the actual I don't like the drill portion. I like the 7-on-7, 11-on-11 because I think it gives you a better idea. But for the majority of that portion, they got their lunch handed to them. So except for the final, like I said, except for the final red zone series where the Giants did have 3 touchdowns. Kareem, what's going on, my brother? Everyone wanted to know, what did Jackson Dart look like? Jackson Dart was he was in 27 reps with the second team. He's gonna be a second teamer, guys. As much as you guys want him to get first team reps, he's not starting the season as your starting quarterback. We just need to take that out of our vocabulary, and we kind of just have to move it off to the side. He's not starting as a starting quarterback. And I don't think Russell Wilson's going to have a short lease, because as good as he looked at times in Buffalo, the Buffalo second team is nowhere even near the Jets second team defense. He was 11 for 17. He had some good throws. He had a nice play action to Theo Johnson for about 25 yards. He's got the nice connection going over with Washington. He hit him in stride for a timing pattern, which was a great throw because he hit him perfectly, and he hit him perfectly in stride. It was a timing pattern, which was fantastic because we haven't seen that for Daniel Jones. There was another play where he was getting pressured that he kind of stepped up and he had a nice throw. I don't remember who it was too, but he had like a nice 15-yard pass. You saw the back shoulder pass to Zach Pasquale. Listen, Jackson Dart had nothing to do with that pass. That is a one-handed catch by Zach Pasquale. So you could say what you want, but you got to give the credit for the wide receiver. That was a bad throw, but it had a good result. The worst throw or the worst parts of practice was probably early. He threw high a bunch of times this practice. He threw high a bunch of times on Saturday as well. So I don't know, maybe he's just overly pumped, because usually if you're pumped up, you go high, you throw high. But he threw a high pass to Pasquale also. And then he had, like, I think it was the next pass after that, he had batted down at the line, which I'm getting slightly concerned in reference to his angle of his arm when he's throwing, because that is like the fifth or the sixth pass. He had 2 batted down on Saturday, but that's like the 5th time I've seen him batted down in the last 2 days or last 3 days. There was another crossing pattern to Washington that was just a bad throw. He also had what's his name, the other tight end, Greg Dulcich. I can't think of his name. Dolce Gabbana, we call him. He had him wide open, wide fucking open in the middle of the field, which probably would have been like a 40-yard touchdown. He overthrew him. And we always joke with Bobby, just a bit outside, try the corner and missed. He missed. There were other opportunities that he missed too as well. And like I said, mainly these are overthrown balls. So you know what the good news is? If it's overthrown, maybe we can work on him not overthrowing as much. So maybe we can just calm him. Maybe just calm him down a little. You know, give him a little Prozac. And I'm joking, but I don't know, because like I said, there was 4 passes in Buffalo, and I think 2 of them were incomplete. That went really high. That went really high. There was another there was like another, I would say there was another 4 or 5 today that went really high. But like I said, you saw potential. Like I said, he had, like I said, the crossing pattern, which was early on in the drill, which was the timing pattern, which he hit Washington in the middle of the field. It was a great throw. It was awesome. It was awesome to watch. It was a throw with anticipation, because I'm waiting for some coffee. I got about a heat stroke on Saturday, so I was throwing up all day Sunday. This was just before the stream too, and even after the stream. So I haven't had coffee in days. But I need the nectar of the gods. But like I said, it was nice to see someone throw with timing and throw with the anticipation. But there is, like I said, there is a huge difference between the Jet second team and Buffalo second team. Let's just put this out there. And I'm curious to see who Dable puts him in against on Saturday. Jackson Dart, that is. I'm curious to see who he does. What if he puts him in more towards the third quarter, if he lets Russell Wilson play into the half, if he lets Jameis Winston get early on against this defense, because this Jet defense, even without CJ Mosley, it's no fucking joke. And people are going to say, well, of course you didn't have Malik Neighbors and you didn't have X, and Malik Neighbors is out again with the toe injury. Is the toe injury for Neighbors getting worrisome? That's a great question. I don't know if I can say it's getting worrisome yet. I got worried when he said he probably should have had off-season surgery, and I got worried when he said he probably will have off-season surgery. Is this just a bubble wrap precaution by Brian Dable? I hope to God it is. But let's see what's in the chat real quick, because I want to talk about Deontay Banks as well. Because, dear Lord, Deontay Banks, who stood out? We're going to get to who stood out as well. Let's see. David said, people don't want him to start so much. I really don't understand. Why do people want him? I don't understand either, because he's not ready. And I love it because you had Chase Daniel, and you have all these wonderful people that are like, well, he audibled out of the play because he tapped on his leg. Well, that tap could mean a lot of things. That could mean he put someone in motion. It could mean he changed the route. It's not an audible change in your route. It literally could be anything. And I love it because everyone else saw it, but the Buffalo defense didn't know what tapping the leg meant. I don't know. He's not ready. He's not ready. He's not ready. He's not. And I love it, the people that say, well, Russell Wilson has lost the magic. I saw a guy yesterday go 6 for 7 in a shortened series that was blown up by 2 penalties by Chris Hubbard. And I saw nothing to say that Russell Wilson isn't your starting quarterback. Listen, like I said, you need to go 3-3 in the first 6. I think Russell Wilson, you could go 3-3 if the defense. We're going to talk about the defense. I think you could go 3-3. You start Jackson Dart. I think you're going to go 1-5 or 0-6 because he's just not ready. For everyone that said start him now, I see these days. You're going to have these good days and your bad days, but I just see it. Because Russell is old and too small. Russell is a bridge. No one expects the Giants to win this year. Neither do I. What's up, Terrence? What's up, Tim? Feels great to get out of that 6 year. It does feel great to get out of 6 year fog, man. Is that where you been? I missed you. Fens, let's not rush Dart. Let's sit him and learn. What about the defense? All right, the defense at times, Abdul Carter has I posted it on the YouTube page, the spin move. I'm liking the spin move. I'm liking the spin move, but I'm not liking the spin move used exclusively as I've seen in the interior portion of the line. He had one point where he lines up against Joe Tippmann. Joe Tippmann's probably going to be a Pro Bowler, All-Pro center. I think he was a Pro Bowler last year for the Jets, and he made him look silly with the spin move, but when you have the likes, this is one of the things I'm noticing about Abdul Carter, and I kind of noticed it. We noticed it 3 years ago with Kayvon Thibodeau, and I'm not comparing the two. So everyone just fucking stop leaving me nasty DMs because you're saying mean things. No, I'm just giving you a point and perspective that you don't want to fucking hear. But he's not finishing. Noticed it in the Buffalo game. He went right by Mitchell Trubisky. He got up through the interior of the field and went right by Mitchell Trubisky. There was another play that he had a shot at the quarterback. He just missed. He's got to learn to close. He's got ABC, always be closing. Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers. That would have been great if I had that sound effect queued up. It's the lack of professionalism. You know what's not a lack of professionalism? We all know what it isn't. Because we're 2.5-point favorites. That's FanDuel, number one sports book in America. That's in America. It's FanDuel.com. Go everywhere to play. You gotta love FanDuel. You can play casino games. You can play. You can do everything you need to do betting wise with the NFL. It's easy. It's simple. You could do it on your computer. You could do it on your phone. We love it. You know it. It's FanDuel.com. Go there now. Sign up for an account. Right now, you're taking a look at the Giants being 2.5-point favorites. Well, they were favorites. I don't know what they were favored. They were 2.5-point favorites the other day. I don't know. We got it. Let's go to FanDuel.com right now and take a look and see what the Giants are. Why not? Let's go to the sports book. And let's go to the NFL. And let's see here. We're going to go down to the Giants on Saturday. The Giants right now are actually 3.5-point underdogs. This is a home game for the Giants, and right now the Giants are 3.5-point underdogs according to FanDuel. So you know what? I would go and take that bet. I would take the Giants at 3.5 points. Jay Ferris said, of course, that's FanDuel.com. Jay Ferris says, my guess is they want to see how it looked with Russ, but go with Dart before it falls apart after Dart has some good reps. True. I wish Dart don't have to start this year. Dart's not going to start this year. He's not going to start this year. No bueno. He should not start this year. But the defense, like I said, Abdul Carter needs to learn how to close. Kayvon Thibodeau with his 5.5 sacks or 3.5 sacks 3 years ago. His biggest issue was he wasn't closing on the play. He wasn't closing out the sack. And we saw that. And like I said, first of all, I can't judge Abdul Carter after 6 snaps in Buffalo. I can judge him more against the Jets. I can judge him more in these practices. But like we said,
put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only.
We all know I'm a closer. From the halls of Montezuma. But that's what he's going to have to do. And that's going to come with time. Deontay Banks. Great balls of fire. You see the rumors and the speculation that the Giants should go out and trade for a CB2. I don't know who's available. CB2s are like left tackles. CB1s are like left tackles. They don't grow on trees. And then it's not as easy as you think. You're going to have to give up something to get something in that regards. But his issues have carried over after the training camp, after the Buffalo game, into this practice as well. I mean, I cannot tell you, as a former college corner, I cannot tell you what's going on. I cannot tell you why he seems at times to positionally be where he needs to be, but he does this weird ass thing where he's throwing up his arms instead of looking back for the ball. It's almost like, does he have a neck injury? Has he had a neck injury for 2 years where he can't turn his head to the left or the right? And he always seems to be a step behind. You talk about fluidity in the hips in reference to a corner running with a wide receiver. I wasn't concerned in the beginning. I wasn't concerned last year. I wasn't concerned at the beginning of training camp. I wasn't concerned until the Buffalo game. I am now concerned about Deontay Banks. I don't know what's going through his head. And I know he came out and said that he was a little rusty in the Buffalo game. But once again, I'm watching this guy get beat. Garrett Wilson ate this guy's lunch. There was one point in time, it was 3 fucking straight passes to Garrett Wilson. 3 passes in a row. It's not even like it's not even like you're sitting here like, well, what are we going to do now? Let's just throw it to Garrett Wilson. That seems to be working against Deontay Banks. You worry that a team is going to pick on this guy. And I'm not sure mentally how tough Deontay Banks is to really solidify himself. I'm not sure. I'm not. And I wasn't concerned. Like I said, I wasn't really concerned for a little bit. But now I'm getting, you know, like I said, the Giants' first team starting off slow. Russell Wilson was 2 for 8 with several sacks prior to that final period, going into this, going on the 11-11 drills. But I'm not, you know, I'm not concerned because you're going to figure it out. I saw Holland today making his presence known in the secondary. He had a couple punch outs, would have been turnovers. So, you know, that was great to see. That was great to see as well. The defense in the red zone during that red zone series, Burns had a sack. Allen, I think Allen for the Jets had no gain. There was an incomplete pass by Fields. Darius Alexander had a sack. But then there was a touchdown at the last play was a touchdown at the end. But we keep looking at this and we keep looking at Deontay Banks and saying, okay, listen, you know, my other concern is also is the fact that Paulson Adebo has not shown me much either. Holland has seemed to have come back. I don't know if he's going to be the Holland he was 2 years ago, but he's kind of come back. And like I said, this was a really good practice. And like, I know we're talking practice, but this was a really good practice for Holland. But if this continues going into the Jet game with Banks, I have to be, I have to admit, I'm going to be, and like I said, Banks to me, I loved Banks coming out of Maryland. But I'm gonna have to be like, you know, I'm just gonna have to say I love it because I'm also reading now. I love Giant beat writers because you know who's on the Giant beat writer payroll. Because I'm looking at Paul Schwartz. And Paul Schwartz was Jackson Dart impressed. I would give Jackson Dart a B-, maybe a C+. He wasn't any better than he was against Buffalo. And he had lots of worst plays against the Jets, but it hung in there and he played solid. But I just love it. He continues to impress. He's also playing against the second team. You may have to consider giving him some first team reps, Jackson Dart, later in camp, but right now you can't. You can't right now, only because of the fact that you have to get Russell Wilson ready. Let's see. We also just want to do a quick injury update. Let's see. Neighbors, of course, was held out. Scattaboo is still out. What's his name? Flanagan Flowers, Drew Phillips, Corey Black, Trey Hawkins, and Evan Neal also didn't practice today. As usual with Brian Dable, we didn't get. I love that Brian Dable tries to be Belichickian and Parcellians, but when you're 16, 36, and 1, you probably shouldn't do that. You probably should just kind of give better answers. Because when you're not winning, we've said this before, you're not winning, you just kind of come off like a dick. But yeah, let's see here. David says, I am more curious to how the defense looking specifically against the run stop. They didn't stop the run today. Jay, let's see here. 2 streams on one day. Well, actually, that wasn't a stream. That was a video I did the other day, and it was actually a podcast. So I wanted to throw that up there. So technically, was it 2 in the box? Technically, was it 2 in the box? Technically, was it 2 in the box?
2 in the box.
Ready to go.
We be fast and
They be slow.
Technically, it was. Send him to Josh Allen's trainer and team to throw the way he did. The problem is this. I don't know if he's throwing high. Like I said, he's got a lot of giddy up on the throw. Jackson Dart, to me, has a slightly above average NFL arm. He had that in college. And all you need is an NFL arm to succeed in the NFL. There's been plenty of quarterbacks that do not have this prolific arm. And Jackson Dart has. Is his arm as good as Daniel Jones? Yes. Is it as good as a young Eli Manning? No. But is it more than proficient to be successful in the NFL? Yes. So he's just got to work. Like I said, the high throws. Okay, first of all, listen. The first thing they teach you going back to Papa Warner, especially if you're going to play quarterback. If you're gonna make a mistake with your throw, don't do it high. Because if you put the ball high in the middle of the field, bad things always happen. And my concern with Jackson Dart now is everything is high. Can that be fixed? Sure, it's probably a mechanical issue. It's probably just him. They could probably take care of that and fix that. I don't know. We'll have to see. Jay Ferris says, I don't value a quarterback drafted at 25 enough to sit him for a year. We're just waiting and hurting the team at this point in time. I don't know about hurting the team, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. MK5 says we need more depth at wide receiver. The names are out that shows us if he's out there, we are. Listen, I'm going to say this right now. You MK5, VW, you nailed it. Like. Hey, I don't like using, Ebonics, but there's an expression, without neighbors, we be fucked. Because we are, if you do not listen, for the love of God, can we stop the Wan'Dale Robinson deep threat scenario? Wan'Dale Robinson, to me, has not looked impressive in camp. He had nice catches on the other day, but he's not this speed guy. He's not. You are not going to find a 4'11" wide receiver 40 yards down the field. And I know he's not 4'11". I know that. I'm just being facetious. But you're not. And without the likes of Malik Neighbors, without the likes of a true game-changing tight end, and we don't know what we have in the running game yet, you need Neighbors. And like I said, if you have to bubble wrap Neighbors, bubble wrap his ass and go from there. James, you pumped that Carl Banks and Papa Smurf and to the Papa Smurf connection. The Carlton Banks. Not unusual to be loved by anyone. Oh, let's see here. Yeah, Mitch did the Matador to Carter. We call it the Matador. James and I were joking. We call it the Matador. We call it the Matador. Stop stealing my shit, James. MK5 also says, when did we join Believe Network? I thought I was a joke at first. No, it's not a joke. What? You think the likes of Carl Banks came on before the Believe Network, but you think the likes of getting like Judy Batista and getting the likes of Brom Weinstein, former host of ESPN Sports Center, and Jerry Oslowski and Anthony Armstrong and Matt Sims. You think that was because of my wonderful fucking personality? No. I guess 2 months now. 2 months now we've been on Believe. I don't know if it's going well. I got a ZipRecruiter ad I should read as well, but I'll do the ZipRecruiter. I already did it with an ad. We got ZipRecruiter too on the show. Should we read the ZipRecruiter ad? Should we just do the ZipRecruiter ad? Just so I can practice. Because I'm supposed to do the ZipRecruiter ad too, but I don't have my glasses. So we'll do this. It felt like an earthquake. We'll do this. I think we'll do the ZipRecruiter ad at all. What are FanDuel's odds for Rookie of the Year? Ooh, you know what? Jay Ferris, I want you. Your task with that go right now. Let's see here. Yeah, no, FanDuel's Believe's not. We're not joking with Believe. I'm taking us versus the Cowboys week 2 on FanDuel. Get your FanDuel bet now. Carter's scout tape said he misses wide open field tackles. He does. We've talked about this before. Abdul Carter has a 25.9% missed tackle percentage his second season as a starting off the ball linebacker at Penn State, which is one of the reasons why they transferred him to defensive end. He misses a lot of open field tackles. He misses a lot of tackle in space. He needs to close. Kayvon Thibodeau had the same issue in year 1. He didn't close. You get to the quarterback.
King of the almost sack.
I'm not gonna lie, I missed that. One more time.
King of the almost sack.
It's like old home week. Kayvon Thibodeau didn't close out his pass rush. Carter right now. Carter, like I said, he literally let Mitchell Trubisky pirouette the other way. I'm like, that's fucking Mitchell Trubisky. What do you think Jalen Hyatt ain't gonna do shit. What do you think Jalen Hurts? What do you think Dak? What do you think Jaden Daniels is gonna do to you unless you turn the corner and grab the sack? David says, get King of the Almost Sack sounded by ready. Shit, I saw that. Back in the house, says Ryan for Big Blue Podcast. Greg says, it's a shame Banks rookie showed promise. I don't understand the regression at all. And I'm going to keep saying this as a former college corner / safety. You have certain situations and nuances of your game that you must perform to be successful. And that's just the way it is. One of them is running in stride. One of them is you need to play, you need to play your best techniques or your best technique. You need to play that. You need to understand, the zone scheme. Your footwork is critical in reference to staying disciplined if you're going to be an effective cover corner. Maintaining eye discipline, which is part of using your head, is paramount, because you have to see where you're at. You have to have an understanding. You have to look back and read the quarterback's eyes. You have to have the ability to keep an eye on that wide receiver as well. So doing all this while you're either backpedaling or in some type of lateral movement to mirror the wide receiver, if you're not doing these things, you're going to get burnt and you're going to get called for stupid penalties. And that's kind of where he's at right now. And I don't understand. If you watch the kid's tape from Maryland and you watch what he's doing now, he's almost like a different player. And I don't know why. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. I don't know why. I cannot figure out what he's being, we talked about early on in Andrew Thomas's career that the coaching staff wasn't doing him any favors. And he had to get out from underneath, and however, he got out from under where he went back to his old coach in college. But like I said, he is just so inconsistent right now. And for a guy that stands 6'2", and he just looks off balance at times. He looks susceptible to the double move. He's not, there was issues in Maryland that he didn't track the ball downfield well. And he is not, listen, he is not an instinctive zone corner. No. Is that one of the biggest issues he's having? I don't know. I don't know. I can't tell you, but he is not an instinctive zone corner. He's not. So we can sit here and trying to fit him into this. I know what's his name. We replaced Jerome Henderson and we brought this guy in Manuel. And I think he's in like, I don't know how many years he's been in the league, but he's been in the league for like 14 years. And this is the first year. This is the first year that he has been with the Giants. I think he was at a Jets at one point in time as well. I don't know if he is working on something different with Deontay Banks, but I don't understand it. We thought Jerome Henderson. We initially thought that Jerome Henderson was the issue. At least I also was thinking Jerome Henderson was the issue. So that's why you got rid of Jerome Henderson. But I don't see it. And I don't understand. Like I said, I don't understand if maybe he's just not fitting into the system now that like he should be. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I literally can't tell you. But and I'm also, like I said, I'm also not overly impressed right now with Paulson Adebo. He's had moments, but I'm not overly impressed right now. Don't trust Maryland football players. Wasn't Boomer Esiason from Maryland? Jay Ferris says, we never hit a quarterback in one round in all of Giant history. Well, that's not true. That's not true. I mean, we've had, I mean, are you going to say that we've never hit on first round in Giant history in reference? I mean, we've had some good corners. What's his name? Mark Haynes, before he imploded back in the early 80s, was an all-pro, not a Pro Bowler. He was an all-pro. Aaron Ross played well. Corey Webster was the 43rd pick. He played well for the Giants. He played well for the Giants for a year. Will Allen, the draft of Allen and Peterson. Will Allen, was, I'm not going to say at 22nd overall was this great corner, but he played well. He played well for the Giants, and he did what he needed to do. You know, we haven't selected a lot of corners in the first round. So, I mean, you know, what about Mark Collins? No, Mark Collins was the second round. Mark Collins was 86, 44th or 45th pick. So, yeah, Mark Collins was in the second round. Terry Kennard was the first round, but of course he was also a safety. Mark Haynes was back in 80. He was 8th overall. He had 2 Pro Bowls, and he not Pro Bowls. He was a 2-time All-Pro. I mean, so no, we've hit corner. I liked Mark Haynes because I met his brother Mike Haynes. Mike Haynes used to have an office in Orlando, and he used to be an office. My buddy had an office, and I actually he was getting out of his Mercedes one day, and I said to my friend, I said that looks like Mike Haynes, and he was also he part of Lester Hayes and the Raiders and Super Bowls, and he's like, yeah, it is. I'm like, well, shit. And I got an autograph not from him, I had him get me his brother's autograph. Greg says, newsflash, if Russ were any good, he would be playing for the Steelers. That's true. Deb says, interesting, Jay Ferris. I don't know that Jason Sheeran wasn't a second-round pick. Jason Sheeran was a second-round pick. Jay Sports Cards. People hated Eli Apple. He hung around a long time. I consider that a good career. Well, then all the people I just read off were fantastic corners. Eli Apple's biggest problem coming out of Ohio State was his hands. He was way too handsome. Well, I don't want to talk. Prince of Mukamore did have elephant arms. Dan says, I noticed from the first day of the comp presser, he looked annoyed by everything from the questions even he was asked. Oh, shoot, do I hear the Ghost Brothers? Strider, Cuba Gooding Jr., quote, he ain't going to get me killed. Neighbors is coming out concerned that Andrew Thomas is well. Listen, and I'm hoping that the whole thing with Malik Neighbors is just erred on the side of caution. I'm not going to sit there and tell you, listen, a wide receiver can come in right off the street, not right off the street, but a wide receiver can come out of training camp without playing and really just get into the game. He is not someone that Malik Neighbors is not someone that's going to need preseason. It's going to be a second year. He's shown in camp what he can do. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about Malik Neighbors right now. But I am worried the fact that he's got to build up some timing, which is fine. but I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried. Trent, yo, Tim, I'm on vacation. Got sunburned bad. Ah, yeah, I got what you call it. I got heat sickness. Thought I was gonna die. And then what did I do? I still went out to fucking Orchard Park. What else we got here? Jay Ferris says, I think Flott isn't great, but he's going to hang around for... No, Flott's not going to hang around a long time. Sorry, my Caps were like, I know, I like it, Trent. I thought you were just yelling. Robinson can be replaced easily. No, here's the thing, Deb. Wan'Dale Robinson cannot be replaced easily at all. Not at all. What's that?
Worry about your own game.
Sorry. Wan'Dale Robinson cannot be easily replaced at all. Who are you going to replace him with? Yes, Bo Collins, Washington, these guys are nice camp stories, but a lot of times, we've said this before, the nice camp stories ends. David Sills, it always comes to mind. Those nice camp stories end once you get into the regular season because it's a totally different game. Wan'Dale Robinson right now is not easily replaced, but Wan'Dale Robinson is not a deep threat. Stop. That's why you gave $36 million to Darius Slayton to be your deep threat. And everyone forgets about Darius Slayton. All these nice undrafted. First of all, Washington is not an undrafted free agent. He's been in the league for like 3 years. Bo Collins is an undrafted free agent. Bo Collins had reps with the first team today. I forgot to talk about that. We'll talk about that too. Let's see here. Strider says, I've said that you've said about Wan'Dale. He's a small catch radius. Balls must be thrown perfectly if he has to catch. I've said this before, and you're right. Wan'Dale Robinson, to me, has still not learned how to catch the ball in the National Football League. Because to Big Strider's point, he's got a very small catch radius, and the ball eats him up at times. And when that happens, you're never going to be in stride. You're never going to get a yak. That's why he's got 90 plus catches and no yak. Trent says, how's everyone doing in the chat? We're good. Let's trade Wan'Dale and a third for Terry. No. Terry McLaurin isn't going anywhere. Didn't Terry McLaurin just sign? I believe Terry McLaurin just signed his contract. So, this is for Slider.
Quarterback sucks, man. Thanks, man. And getting me killed. Throwing high and across the middle.
That is moments. That's what Dart's doing. That's how he's not going to get killed. Wan'Dale was small. Everything the dude is undersized. He's I just love watching Wan'Dale Robinson because you watch that helmet. You watch his big ass helmet. It reminds me of, like I said, when the Dahmer was here. And the Dahmer had on my helmet and shoulder pad. Had on the autographed Phil Simms helmet and my shoulder pads. Now, imagine this is Wan'Dale Robinson, also known as the Dahmer. Could you imagine Wan'Dale Robinson, known as the Dahmer, out there running routes in the open field 40 yards down the field with these big-ass helmets? Bring back OJ. Bring back OJ. Well, OJ's dead, so you can't really bring him back. That'd be kind of difficult. I'll bring back OBJ came out and said, "Listen, you know what?" He says, "I'm not retired yet. People need to stop." Let's see here. Jay Sports Card says he isn't what he once was, but could be an occasion. No, you're not getting OBJ. Let's see. Your Cowboys and Washington are still dealing with disgruntled stars. Should see major regressions from both squads, as you're saying with the Eagles. That's why I'm saying I think 9 wins takes this division. Let's see here. Who is that guy? I don't want to get into it. Big Tim, any news on why Jalen Hyatt is not playing? Jalen Hyatt still has the undisclosed injury. And I wish we could get an understanding and an idea of what this undisclosed injury is. The Giants just 2 hours ago released the unofficial depth chart for Saturday's game against the Jets. And it's funny because your wide receiver 2 backing up Darius Slayton is Jalen Hyatt. We'll go through the starting lineup real quick if we want. We have, they say they have Malik Neighbors on the unofficial. Right now they have Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, Jackson Dart, Tommy DeVito. You have Theo Johnson, Neighbors, Tyrone Tracy, backed up by Singletary, Scatterboo. You have James Hudson backed up by Azuda. You got John Runyon Jr. backed up by Aaron Stinney. You got JMS backed up by whoever because JMS is just not good. We have Kyle Van Roten backed up by Evan Neal. You have James Ellymore Fudd backed up by the Marcus Bowe. You have Wandale Robinson being backed up by Washington and Crabtree. On the defensive sides, our starters are going to be Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, the Nacho Man, Brian Burns, Bobby Okereke, Micah McFadden, Drew Phillips, who has been injured, is listed on this chart, but I can't see that being that. You have Paulson Adebo, Tyler Nubin, you have Holland, and you have Banks or Cordell Flott backed up by nobody. Backed up by nobody. They've got a lot of guys that are injured right now that I don't understand how they're on this depth chart. Right now, Abdul Carter's being the backup to Brian Burns on the second team. When you have Chris Board backing up McFadden as your second linebacker, that's problems. And when you have Nick Jones and TJ Moore backing up Drew Phillips, who's still dealing with the injury as well, that's going to be an issue as well. You take a look at this list. I mean, Bo Collins was running at times with the first team. Where's Bo Collins on this chart? I don't even see him. I don't even see him on the. I have him. He's listed as third behind Malik Nayers from Little Jordan Humphrey. But Jalen Hyatt is with the undisclosed injury right now. As this unofficial depth chart just dropped at 348, is listed as the backup and second teamer. It's interesting. Hit that like button, says James Williams. Trenton says, I got to get a call from Howard Roseman to say he'll trade McGee for the first 2-round picks. Almost isn't good enough, Tim. That's what I'm hearing. Tex says, what is all about the Giants is death taxes, Banks, and a PA call. Listen, he's got to fit. Banks had, if I'm looking at this unofficial depth chart and watching what I've seen today and almost, I think I was at 7 of the 9 practices. I'll be at the practice tomorrow. Seeing what I'm seeing with Banks, and like I said, when you have it right now as Banks, it's either your starting corner on the unofficial depth charts is either Deontay Banks or Cordell Flott. You cringe a little bit. Trey Hawkins is also still hurt. Art Green. My favorite Giant is O'Donnell Fortune. I'm sorry. What's your name? I'm O'Donnell Fortune. Sounds like he's a superhero, or he's a superhero alter ego. Let's see here. James Lewin says, everyone keep talking about the front 7, but we keep forgetting about the back 4. Make sure you're hitting the like button, guys. You guys don't get up the likes. Mrs. Online Big Blue said, I can't play no more. I'm just telling you. She is very vehement to the fact that if you don't hit the likes, I can't play no more. So make sure you're hitting the like button. Who's going to the game on Saturday? Who's going to the game? Who are we going to see at the game? James and I are going to the game. Who are we going to see at the game? Banks has stepped up. He's line dancing at Beyonce concert, shaking hands. Dickerson should be fine in a few weeks, but he does have reoccurring knee issues. Lance Dickerson got carted off, and that's going to be bad for the Eagles. We're not going to cry. Well, we're not going to cry for me, Argentina, also known as the Eagles. We hope you really suck. Oh, let's see here. Will Allen was okay, but he had Butterfingers. Yeah, but he was okay. DeAndre Baker, also known as the Nino Brown of the Giants. One of the I guess, what's a good way to put it? One of the worst thumbnails I guess I've had, and I got called out for the most when I called DeAndre Baker the Nino Brown of the New York Football Giants. I thought it was a good thumbnail. A lot of people didn't like it. I don't know why they didn't like it. I liked it. I thought it was fucking funny as shit. But a lot of people didn't like it when I said he was the Nino Brown of the New York. I call him the Nino Brown of the NFL. I was trying to find my New Jack City sound effect, but I can't find it. So that's fine. That's why I'm done looking anyways. Aziz Ojulari looked terrible in New York Giants camp. You guys made the right choice letting him walk. Yeah, that's why we sent him over to you guys. Dan the Man says post-Maryland 2007 players drafted then are pretty bad. And then William says, James, neighbors seriously hit our offense deficiency, shaking our head. Even with him, we still need more. But the problem is
Money talks. Bullshit runs the marathon. So, see ya. And I wouldn't want to be here.
It's always good because, when you're on the Believe Network, it's the professionalism that you have your sound effects quickly and readily available. Listen, they know what they signed up for when they signed this shit show. They had an idea what they signed up for. I just like the one comment. I thought you were just joking. Was it MK5? I thought you were just joking. Flott needs to get healthy and show. Flott does not need to get healthy. Flott, even when he is healthy, is not good. Greg called it. Chad Sports. Chode Sports. Why would that one Chode Sport? Make a trade for Tariq. Sounds like Chode Sports. Remember, folks, Hyatt and Papa Smurf are Joe Shane picks, and we still have a legit tight end. Listen, the tight end situation is not as dire as people are making this out to be. There's talent here, but the problem is none of the talent is for one player. Everyone has different talents. And if you could take all their talents and put them together, you would have a pretty good tight end. But the problem is you have some guys that are straight line pass catchers. You have some guys that are blocked. Theo Johnson needs to be your guy. Theo Johnson, a couple of passes in Buffalo. He had a couple of catches today and the other day. He needs to be your guy. He needs to be your guy because of the fact that he has the most talent out of this group. The problem is going back to Penn State. They've even said this, and going back to Penn State, that this poor guy, well, he's gonna have some issues because of the fact that he is not what they would refer to as he is not the James Brown of tight ends. He is not the hardest working man on the roster. Going back even to Penn State. This is what they said about Penn. That's what they said about the Penn State tight ends. Well, that's why I wanted Tyler Warren, who had 3 catches for 40 yards, 13 yards a catch, and the longest one was 23 on 3 targets, even with Daniel Jones throwing the ball. It made more sense to bring in a tight end, open up the field for your star wide receiver and your running back. Backed up by Tim from Online Big Blue. That's me. Hey, Miss Tim, Mr. Alvarez, the offensive weaknesses are so obvious it's scary knowing Shane. He made more holes in these positions. I just, you traded up one spot to get Deontay Banks. He had a good season that first year under Wink. And he's built for the Wink. He is built for the Steve Wilkes. He is built for, Steve Spagnuolo. He is built for those type of defenses. He is not an instinctive corner when it comes to being a zone cover corner. He's not instinctive at all. That's why they didn't make him do that at Maryland. It's almost like you're Evel Knievel riding your Harley to jump over the fountain at Caesars. And all of a sudden they say, hey, Evil, can you do it on a moped? It's the bend, not break. Well, a moped goes fast, but not that fast because we don't want to break any of the speed limits. And that's kind of what Deontay Banks is right now. And it's befuddling to me that even some of his instinctive abilities, listen, if you are not an instinctive press cover, if you're not an instinctive zone cover corner, I get that. But his issues at times has not been in that type of coverage. His issues at times has been at the fact that at the end of the play, I don't understand this thing. Throw your hands up in the air and wave them like you just don't care. My name's Deontay Banks. I forgot to wear my underwear. I don't know. I don't know what the hell he's doing. Greg says, Joe Shane can't evaluate talent. My 13-year-old son could draft Abdul Carter. Well, you know what they say. People say I'm a genius, but can you really screw up 5 and 7? Yeah, you might have to trade 5 to get a corner or a wide receiver, and you might lose. You're going to lose 7 because you're going to pick up the 5th-year option. Strider says, Deontay Banks, king of the almost had a play. I didn't get my head turned around. Please, Tim, make that sound. We already did king of a. We did if I only had a sack. So we can't do that. We'll have to come up with a different one for that, Slider, because we already had that. Let's see here. Giants 7 wins. Right now in the mighty FanDuel.com, Giants are 5.5 wins. I think 7 would be on the high side. I'm already said this before. I think this is a 5-win team. The schedule is not doing them any favors, but everyone in the division's got to play the same schedule, and you got to play each other divisionally as well. I do think the division's going to take a step back, but I do think the Giants just do not have all the pieces yet, and you're going to be relying on either a 37-year-old Russell Wilson or a rookie Jackson Dart. And the vanilla defenses Jackson Dart saw against Buffalo is not there. Is not going to be there. You are going to get the exotic blitz packages. You are going to get the exotic coverages. He's going to get confused. So 5 wins. I'm still saying 5 wins. Mr. Alvarez says I'm already looking at the O-line wide receiver prospect stinks. We're got to be ready because I figure the offense is going to possibly stink. I don't think the offense is going to stink. If you saw today, yes, it was bad. At times, it was horrendous. But they cleaned it up at the end. They did have 3 touchdowns out of 4 plays or 5 plays in the red zone at the end of the practice. Russell Wilson came out and even said, listen, this is a process. You got to take responsibilities, all this fun stuff. So make sure you're hitting the like button, guys. All that fun stuff. Is it going to be better than it was ever under Daniel Jones? Yeah. And if it's not, then Brian Dable's not the quarterback whisperer we thought he was. So we got to kind of just look at it that way. Miss Colin, Theo Johnson looks like Larry Kubiak from the Parker Lewis can't lose. Parker Lewis can't lose. And then the third season, they fucked it up by calling it just Parker Lewis. And they changed all like the funny shirts and all the color and everything else. Don't even get me into Parker Lewis. Don't even get me. That's one of them Fox shows. We had a plethora of tight ends in this year's draft, but the problem is we didn't take any. Well, we did. No, that's not true. We took a tight end at the end of the draft. It's like defensive tackles. Darius Alexander, for everyone that loves him, you need to remember he was the 12th defensive tackle taken in this draft because there was a large amount of defensive tackles, but he was the 12th taken. Because of the fact, and Joe Shane came out and said the same thing. I took him because he is an athletic guy who can rush the passer. Tight ends the same way. Was there a plethora?
You say I have a plethora of piñatas?
El Guapo, I said you have a plethora of piñatas and tight ends. How about Deontay Banks? Man, I almost had it. Soundbite. What could be it too? James Williams says, tell us 2 non-quarterback related positive you saw today from our today call. 2 non-quarterback related positives you saw today. Positive one, number 1, Abdul Carter. Like I said, Abdul Carter looks like he's the real deal. Abdul Carter looks like he's actually working on a spin move, unlike Kayvon Thibodeau. When Kayvon Thibodeau came out of Oregon, you heard rumors and innuendos that he was not a hard worker. And we've kind of saw that. And Abdul Carter, from what I've seen, like I said, I think out of the 9 days of camp orders, I think I've been there all but 2. So at 7 days and everything else, he's a hardworking kid and he's trying to learn his craft. You also have to like the likes of Washington. Washington, like I said, Gann had a nice connection with Dart on that crossing pattern. It was a beautiful, like I said, it was a beautifully thrown timing pattern to Montreal Washington. Beautifully thrown ball. But people need to understand this about Montreal Washington. He's another small guy. He is not one of the, he is not the proto. We don't have outside of neighbors, truly maybe like Bo Collins and some Darius. We don't have a prototypical big play wide receiver. I mean, I'm not saying big play. I should say big wide. I'll just say big wide receiver because you're talking a Montreal Washington is 5'10", 170 pounds. And for people that think he's come out of nowhere, he's been in the league for 3 years. Does anyone remember? And I kept telling people, I actually remember this guy when he was returning kicks back in Denver in 2022. And he's bounced around the league a couple of years. He's played in Kansas City. He's played in Denver. I think he had his most punt returns in Denver. So is he turning the corner to becoming an NFL wide receiver? I don't know. Because he's got 4 catches for 2 yards. So his catch percentage is negative 2.8. He ran the ball 5 times for 30 in Denver. So this guy is not this guy that's never been in the league. He's not. People have this mistake that he's an undrafted free agent. He's not an undrafted free agent. He's been in the league for 3 years. Is he pulling a camp Victor Cruz? I don't know. But like I said, the crossing pattern today was really nice. The touchdown the other day was really nice. Is he a good camp story? I might prefer Bo Collins. Bo Collins is a bigger 6'3", prototypical wide receiver. He can play special teams outside of returning kicks. Do I want to put him out as the gunner? I don't know. But I have to look at it from a perspective, and I don't have to look at it for shit because I'm not building this roster. But you got to look at it from perspective is you got to build the roster. And you have to build the roster. And people forget you got to have special teams. One of the problems the Giants had last year at times was not only the kicking game, but special teams and coverage, giving up the inopportune big punt or big kickoff. So you need some guys on special teams. And to me, like I said, Bo Collins makes more sense. But you also have to look at the fact that you can.
You say I have a plethora of piñatas?
We don't have a plethora of wide receivers right now because with Neighbors nursing the toe, Darius Slayton's going to be Darius Slayton. We don't know what the fuck's going on with Hyatt. Wan'Dale Robinson is going to be your slot guy. Please stop putting him in the middle of the field. It just does not. I remember second to last day of open practices that Wan'Dale Robinson got about 30 yards downfield and he's standing on the sideline and it was almost like he was this little kid because out of nowhere Dane Belton comes streaking by and snatches the ball out of his hands like it was taking it away from his kid brother. And I looked at that and I said, please, for the love of God, don't do this. So you're going to have to figure out a wide receiver issue. And like I said, with the Banks issue, I think that's the most worrisome thing right now to me is that while Paulson Adebo has not looked great, he's looked better than Banks. Deontay Banks on him not to turn his head around. Turn around. Deontay Banks can't figure out how to spin his fucking head around. Trent says the NFC East predictions: Philadelphia Eagles 12-5, Giants 8-9, Washington 8-9, Cowboys 6-11. I'm going to change that. My Philadelphia Eagles prediction is 2. Or I'm going to go 2. I'm going to go 5-12 for Philadelphia. Screenshot my prediction to make it come true. Trenton, I love you, brother. But you've watched this show. I'm lazy as fuck. I'm not going to do that because then I got to take a screenshot and then I got to put it somewhere. So you need to remember for me. Those that don't know, starting Sunday, kickoff Sunday, we are giving away an autographed Carl Banks Michigan State jersey, Michigan State Spartan jersey. Here's the jersey. I'm going to wear it to the Jet game because I made a bet with someone 2 years ago and I lost evidently. That they said that if the bet was if Carl Banks came on the show, I had to wear a Michigan State jersey to the next Giant game. So the next Giant game is this Saturday. So I'm going to wear it by Carl Banks, Michigan State number 54 jersey. Carl Banks has been nice enough to say that he is going to autograph it. So we are going to give this away. We're giving this jersey away kickoff Sunday. So make sure you stay tuned for that. We're going to have more details. I have more details of that as well. And watch this because watch this. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. Maybe we'll do a stream Friday, but I might be giving away tickets to the Jet game. James Williams is going to love this. To hang out in a suite in Giant Stadium, because I'm still going to call it Giant Stadium. James Williams, I didn't get a chance to talk to my brother James about James. I'm going to try to call you tomorrow. I also need your birthday and something else because you need to get approved by the NFL. So I'll text you later. But we might have 4 tickets to a shared suite that we're going to be giving away. 4 or 5, I'm not sure yet. That will be giving away for the game on Saturday, 7 p.m. kickoff. It's a shared suite, so the food's not included. But like I said, it is a nice suite. The mimosas are free and everything else, and there's a lot of good shit going on up there. So you get to hang out with me and James in the suite. So I may have 3 additional tickets for this suite. So I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna wrap up the details today, and then maybe Thursday we'll do a giveaway. We'll do a live stream for some reason and do a giveaway for these tickets. So you get, like I said, you get to hang out with us. It's fucking awesome. You get to hang out with me and James. What's better than that? Giants going to the Super Bowl? Answer my own question. Let's see here. Bobby Johnson. Yeah, I didn't want to talk about Bobby Johnson. OG Knockout. What's up, OG? Tim, be nice. What about little Jordan Humphreys? I have not seen enough from little Jordan Humphreys to tell you that he has done anything to really solidify himself on this team. And he is a guy, little Jordan Humphreys is another guy that's been in the league for a little while. He's been in the league since 19. His most prolific season was last year in Denver when he caught 31 passes for 293 yards. Now, again, not much of a speed guy. His yak last year was 9 yards. His career yak is 12. I'm not seeing him as as the 4th or 5th wide receiver, Deb. Here's your thing. You got to return punts, or you got to return kickoffs, or you got to play special teams. I have not seen enough of him to do any that he can do any of these things. Bo Collins, I think, is a more athletic player that can do these things that you need to do on special teams. I don't think little Jordan Humphreys can do that. I could be wrong, but we'll have to wait and see. I beat up Hyatt. That's why he didn't make it to the preseason. Bold prediction, says Trent. Brian Burns gets traded next season before Carter outperforms him. No, if anyone gets traded, it's going to be Kayvon Thibodeau. Kayvon Thibodeau, because of his lack of playing time over the last 3 years, his cap number, his guaranteed cap number for next year is $12.5 million. I've said this before. You got a log jam between they always say you can never have enough pass rushers. Oh, that's true and not true. We have pass rushers that are the same player. They're identical in skill sets. So yeah, that's going to be an issue when you put all 3 on the field, because I see all 3 on the field. I'm a smart offensive coordinator, a smart quarterback. I'm going to take advantage of the over aggressiveness of the defense, and I'm either going to delay a handoff, throw out a short little bubble screen. I'm going to wait till they come up, step up, hit the tight end in the middle of the field, because our coverage on the tight end is still not good. So it's going to be interesting. If anything's going to get traded, it's going to be Kayvon Thibodeau. James says, nice. James says, I took the screenshot because if we get 8 wins, then that'll be impressive. Listen, James, thank you. Because evidently Trenton, who's watched the show now for a couple months, 2 months now, because I saw he's a 2-month OG member, doesn't understand that I am what they refer to as lazy. I'm not remember. I love when people can lie. That's why I love people on this show, because people could literally lie and tell me that you said this, and I'll be like, okay, because I'm too lazy to look it up. That's why I have people like Zach, and that's why I rely on like people from Ryan's Big Blue podcast as well. Skyline says, so what's your who's your favorite to get the David Sills Award? Ooh, you know what? I'm going to tell you this. I don't really have an overhyped giant right now. I was trying to look at this thinking, who is an overhyped? I mean, right now, if I got to look at it, Montreal Washington is probably my overhyped player. And right now he's sitting 3rd in the most current depth chart and backing up Wan'Dale Robinson. Bo Collins is 3rd by little Jordan Humphreys. Little Jordan Humphreys is above Bo Collins because Bo Collins is a rookie. But Bo Collins is going to get most of the playing time. I'm going to say Madden Hurts. No, I can't say anything. They're really, to me, they're really, I love what's his name? Thomas Fidine, whatever his name is. He's 6th. He's 6th on the depth chart reference to tight ends, but people are in love with him. How do we enter it? Which contest? The Carl Banks giveaway or the tickets? I think I am going to ask Carl Banks. I think I'm going to ask Carl Banks if he would mind coming on the show and giving away. He doesn't have to stay the whole show like he did the whole 2 hours last. I wonder if he would mind coming on the show and actually giving the jersey away. He'll probably be busy. He's going to be busy, so we'll have to maybe we do it early. I'll have to ask him. I'll have to ask him and see what he says. 2019. Can someone tell Shane that the 2019 draft was pretty freaking terrible? Stop bringing in those guys. In the David Sills Award. Good afternoon, Tim. 138 people. 506. Boom! I caught up the chat. That is what we call professionalism. We got a couple minutes. I'm going to put the needle on the record. But you have to have something to say. And I want to talk about the Giants. I want to talk about training camp. I'm going to put the needle on the record. I'm going to put the link in the comment. If anyone wants to jump in, I got a couple minutes. If somebody new wants to jump in, we always like to have a new guest. We always have to have, like I said, we thought we were going to hate Trenton because he's an Eagle fan. And being an Eagle fan, we didn't think he was smart enough to use a computer. But he was. We love Trenton. But if you want, come on and ask a question. Come on, ask a question and I'll answer it if I can. Let's see here. How many likes we got? I don't know. We got 30 likes. Can we at least get 40 likes? Come on, guys. Tomorrow, again, is a joint practice. This one is going to be at MetLife. It starts at 10 o'clock. These joint practices right now, should I hop on the stream? Trenton, do you want to hop on the stream? There's something you want to ask? If you want to hop on the stream, you know how to do it. Starts at 10 p.m. These practices run about 2.5 hours, which is the longest of practices of the of training camp so far. Again, like we've mentioned it before, I'm potentially going to be giving away 3 tickets to sit in a suite at Giants Stadium. I call Giants Stadium. Sit at MetLife for the Giant Jet game. So we're gonna chat about that. Let's see here, Tim. Is there any positions you don't need to worry about? Yes. Are there any positions of the Giants you don't need to worry about? Positions, you don't need to worry about the defensive line. You're going to have to hope that Darius Alexander beats out either Nacho or Robertson Harris. But you don't need to worry about the defensive line. You need to worry about linebackers because if Bobby Okereke and Micah McFadden are backed up by Darius and Chris Board and Dante Johnson and KG Cloud and Demetrius Flanagan Flowers, you got to worry about that. On the offense, you just have to worry that Deontay Banks is healthy. And that's going to solidify. To me, Deontay Banks. To me, Malik Neighbors, if he solidifies your receiving core. You know what's funny? If Malik Neighbors is there, the Giants have a top 15 wide receiver core. If Malik Neighbors is out, the Giants have a top 27 wide receiver core. So, I mean, it's yeah. James Stein says, hopefully our defense can play better than last year because we sucked really bad last year. I just want everyone to make more sacks. I want everyone to do a better job on the run. Please stop, for the love of God. Stop the run. I used to live in Trenton. I lived in Trenton a long time ago. I always talk about living in Trenton. I always talk about going to City Gardens. I always talk about going down Calhoun Street. I always love it. I've told the story before. We were at a Giant game a couple of years ago, and we were talking to these guys who were from Newark, and I told them where I lived in Trenton, and they both looked at me and said, damn. I thought we lived in a bad neighborhood. But like I said, yes, the run game itself, we need to solidify the run. We need to figure it out. We need to figure it out rapidly because even against Cam Scatterbo, Tyrone Tracy, and our own guys, we're getting gouged in the run. So we better find a defense. I wish I could listen. If you want to continuously talk about NASCAR, Perry Fuels NASCAR was also predicated on the likes of Matthias Kiwanuka and Jason Pierre-Paul and their ability to stop the run. Both of those gentlemen were 6+, 6'3+, 280+, and had 80+ tackles. as run stoppers as the starting defensive ends, because that year you had the likes of Justin Tuck and Osi Minor hurt. So we have to figure out we can stop the run. Mr. Roberts says, Tim, I came on a little late. Did the Giants run defense look good? Because that was the first thing that makes me nervous. It's not that they look bad. It's just the pass defense looks so horrid and so porous that, yeah, there were some issues with the run defense, but it was nothing compared to what the pass defense was. Tomorrow's another day. I don't believe in this shit. Well, it's a home field advantage for the Giants tomorrow. I don't believe in that shit. You're going from Florham Park to MetLife. It's not. I don't see it. I just think the Jets. You don't like saying it about the Jets, but the Jets have a better team than the Giants. They right now are a better rounded team than the Giants, and they have a better defense. So I hope that changes, but right now that's what it is. I didn't know it was 28 miles to Florham Park. I actually liked going to Florham Park today because it's by Morristown, so it wasn't as far. It wasn't as far. I'm again the laziness of me. It wasn't as far as a ride. Mr. Roberts says, I really wish the Giants had a really thumper running back to back up Tracy, because as much as I like Scatterboo, his size worries me. Scatterboo's size worries me. The hamstring injury should always worry. I got to leave in a couple minutes, guys. So if you want to jump on, that's fine. If you don't, I'm not going to worry about it. I'll put the link in the chat one last time. If we want someone to close out the show, Dom, listen, don't go to bed. Go click on the link and jump in a minute. I want to say you're on vacation. I want to say hello to you. And don't give me no bullshit that, I can't do it, mate, because I got me some fuckers in the crackers. No, you could jump on a minute. I know that was probably one of the best English accents you've ever heard. I know. By cracky. My English accent is always, well, Trenton, I may be done by the time you get out of the car. Oh my God. But I hope, I have my fingers crossed that the Giants, like I said, you have to cross your fingers with the likes of our favorite son, Malik Neighbors. We got Trenton going to jump on a second here because I haven't seen Trenton in a while. You got an eagle hat on? You got an eagle hat.
Hell yeah, I do.
You got an eagle. You got
Hey, how's it going, Tim?
Good, Trent. What you doing, my brother?
Getting sunburn on vacation. I've got my wife with me too.
Hi,
We're
wife.
just pumping gas at the gas station, but I just wanted to hop on and ask you a real quick question.
Hey, are you? Wait, you're in Jersey, right?
No, I'm down in North Carolina.
All right, I was going to say you're pumping gas. I was like, you can't be in Jersey.
Yeah, well, I just want to ask a real quick question. Who has impressed you the most from Giants practices in preseason so far?
Giants practices in preseason practice. I'm going to have to tell you this: the most impressive player, the most impressive two is it's a cop-out answer. It's going to be Malik Neighbors and Abdul Carter. I don't know if Malik Neighbors is this good or our zone defense is this bad.
Probably a mix of both, if I were to guess.
I was gonna have to guess the same thing. It's just one of those things that you look at it, and like I said, Abdul Carter, as a guy that's been working at his craft, you can literally see him doing that he is putting in the effort. I was always concerned that he only had the one move, the dip, but now he's adding the spin. So we can call it spin we can call it spin and drive. Where are you in North Carolina?
I'm down in the Outer Banks, but I'm near, where are we at now, Shay?
Mount Olive.
I'm visiting my in-laws in Mount Olive right now, and then we're going back to the Outer Banks for the rest of the week.
Oh, very nice. But
hey, good to see you. Great stream.
Thank you, Trent. And say goodbye to the wife. Well, he just left. I got a lot of family over in Raleigh. So I was going to tell him he could just run down there and pick something up for me. Just joking. Let's see here. Greg says Jets just need a quarterback. Listen, Justin Fields. At one point, Justin Fields was 7 for 7. At one point, Justin Fields looked impressive. He literally, at one point in time, like I said, threw 3 passes against Deontay Banks to Garrett Wilson. And I have to do my Dom impression one more time.
No. Danger's my middle name.
You're welcome, Trenton. Drive carefully. Malik is elite. Listen, when you watch Malik Neighbors in camp, he's on a different level. And I'm gonna, and even on one-on-one man coverage, he is eating Paulson Adebo's lunch. And this worries me because people will say, well, here's the problem. That's why Paulson Adebo looks bad because he's on Malik Neighbors. No, you paid Paulson Adebo like a top 5 corner to lock down the likes of Deontay, the likes of Malik Neighbors. Like you got him to lock down AJ Brown and Devontae Smith and CeeDee Lamb and Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuels. So there should be some days where he has an advantage over Malik. Mr. Alvarez says, I was going to say, don't sleep on the Jets, especially the defense. Combination McDonald, Johnson, Sherwood, Williams, and Bros and Sauce, I feel is going to do damage. Listen, the Jets have a defense. The Jets' second unit has a defense. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'll take Dom. I guess Dom can't come on. I miss Dom. Just about to go to bed. Want to pop in and say hello before turning in. Oh, Dom. I would play the British music I have, but last time I did that, I got a copyright strike. Not that I really care, but if you keep getting copyright strikes and they turn your channel off, and then I'm just gonna have to go outside and yell. Nobody wants to see the crazy man yelling. Where are we at? Did we get to 40 likes? We got to 34 likes. Now I'm not giving away the tickets. I was giving away the tickets. Now I can. Tim, I just got on once I got out of the car. What do you got that? I said that. Let's see here. James Stein says the Jets do have a quarterback. Justin Field is not chopped liver. The man can play. Listen, right now he's shown that he can play. Right now he's showing his ability, but I don't know if he can do it through 17 weeks. We're gonna have to kind of wait and see. If no one's got any other additional questions, I'm gonna check out here. Only because of the fact that I do have some stuff to do, because I do have to truck my ass down to truck my ass up over to MetLife tomorrow. And then I got to truck my ass back. On Saturday. What time is the game Saturday? Is it a 1 o'clock game or is it 7 o'clock game? It's a 7 o'clock game. It's a Saturday's a 7 o'clock game. Okay, good. Okay. I couldn't do a I couldn't do a what's called game. It was on the 16th. Yeah, there we go. And the other game's on the 21st. Okay. At 7 p.m. Okay, 7 p.m. game. We're probably gonna give away tickets. Why? I don't know why. Why not? Seems like a nice thing to do. Jay Ferris says, Tim, thanks for the show. Tim, you're very welcome. Besides the Bills, you're very welcome. Razzle says, what's up, Razzle? Smash the like button. Come on, Tim. I've been putting in the work, man. I'm not gonna lie. This has been work. I don't like it. If I wanted to work, I'd go out and get a fucking job. In retirement, you don't work. Do people not understand that? In retirement, you're supposed to I'm supposed to play I'm supposed to play like shuffleboard and shit. And do things like that. But I can't. I can't even play shuffleboard. I don't know how to play shuffleboard. But if I did, I would play it. Unless there's a shuffleboard field. But I do want to make one last announcement. I want to thank everyone. What's up, Moet? Great stream, Tim. People hit the like button. Have a great rest of your day. Everyone have a great rest of the day. Lots of degrees seem to think that the Pats will be good. I don't know. The Pats might be good. Want to thank everyone. OG, Tim is the true OG. Thank you, OG Knockout. James says great stream as well. I want to thank everyone before I get off topic, because we hit a landmark the other day. And I really wanted to thank everyone. We and it's the number is rising rapidly, which is fantastic. We hit over 3 million views like 4 days ago. We're closed in on 3.1 million views. We're actually on the last 2 months. We have we have seen a very prosperous rise, not financially, but prosperous in the amount of views that we've gotten. That in the month of July was our biggest month ever on record, and I probably should do this ahead of time, but we had the month of July we had almost 200,000 views, and then so far in the month of August, which we are only on the 12th of August right now, we have something like I don't know, my computer's not working, but we have over a quarter million. What do we have? We have over a 250,000 views just in the first 12 days of August. So that's all you guys. And like I said, I greatly appreciate it. We are going to try to hit 750,000 views in August as a record. So that's, we have to set a goal, because we had the goal, when the channel started, we had some goals. One goal was to get to 10,000 subscribers. One goal was hit 3 million views. One goal was to get Carl Banks on. Now we need goal 4. So we can continue to push towards something. But like I said, I know a lot of people are like, well, bigger channels. Listen, I don't care, because when we started this channel 4 years ago, I didn't think we'd have one. I didn't think we'd have 1 view. I didn't think we'd have 10 views. And then you look over and you find out you got over 3 million. That to me is freaking crazy. So, and just remember this, make sure you go out to FanDuel.com, place your bet. The Giants are 3.5-point dogs right now. That's FanDuel.com, number one sports book in America. Place that bet, because you know what? That's a win. To me, 3.5 points to the Giants in this game, because the Jets aren't probably going to play anyone after the second half. That's a winner bet to me. Make sure you follow us on the Believe Network. Make sure you still follow us on the shorts and everything else that we're doing right now on all the other channels stuff. And like I said, I really just appreciate everyone that's spent so much time the last couple months hanging out with us. It's really been a blast. It's really been a great time. Keep following the channels. Keep doing everything that you're doing, because you want to know why? I don't know. I just appreciate you guys. We'll do the ticket giveaway, I think, on Thursday, so make sure you stay tuned for that. We'll have additional. I think we're going to have the additional tickets for the Giant shared suite. It's a shared suite, so it's not my suite. It's a shared suite. So we'll probably give away the suite tickets as well on Thursday, so look out for that stream as well. And as always, guys, I appreciate you. Stay safe. Stay hydrated. Because like I said, I got heat stroke on Saturday. It was pretty scary, but I'm back. I got this is called professionalism. I got heat stroke on Saturday, was throwing up most of the day Saturday, most into Sunday, got up and still did my stream like there was nothing wrong. Slowly I was dying. Then I tried to do a pod yesterday with Ryan from Ryan's Big Blue Podcast, and I was cracking up because I couldn't remember anyone's name, because I was still like delirious. So that's why I went out today with this weird, if you saw me today, I had this weird ass hat on, this weird white ass hat. It's a giant hat, but I don't know what the hell you would call it, but I had this weird ass hat on. I don't think I think I took a picture of it, but I don't have it. I have it on my phone, I guess. I thought it downloaded to my computer, but I took a picture of it. So, peace from the Middle East, peace in the Middle East. I can't handle peace in the Middle East, but we'll get there. We got to come from VA cars cars charged up. How do we win the tickets? I'm going to tell you how you win the tickets. I don't know yet. Does anyone think I think this far ahead about anything? I also have another set of season tickets that I might give away as well. So we're going to figure it out, guys. We'll figure it out. So you know what, guys? Appreciate everyone hanging in as long as they did. I got to go cool off for a little bit so I can head out to the MetLife tomorrow. Appreciate you. Love you. And as always, I'm out of here.